To prepare a witness for interview at trial is a huge and involved process. You're preparing your client to go through his or her direct examination, the story that you want to tell in the order that you want to tell it, but you're also preparing them perhaps more so for the cross-examination. You want them to be prepared for any document that could be put in front of them. So, for example, if you're going to walk them through documents, you want to talk with them, get their memory, refresh their memory to the extent necessary or possible. On the flip side, preparing for cross, finding what are the worst documents, the worst pieces of evidence, the worst testimony that's come out during the trial, and preparing them for that onslaught. How are they going to answer those questions? The other piece is the actual demeanor and presentation. So, if you have a client who doesn't communicate well, does that, for whatever reason, they're uncomfortable, they're definitely going to be nervous, is that undermining their message? What we often will do is to pull in someone they're not as familiar with, but who knows the case. And they they play the role of the prosecutor and put them through a brutal cross-examination. And again, you see how they did on that. For a deposition, they're all on a sliding scale. Who is the witness? How important are they? I always remind them that truth is the most important piece. And that's the way you can go most wrong, is if you're not truthful. A big piece of that in preparing in a civil deposition too is that guessing can become untruthful. What we do when we prepare them, there are some general tips that I go through. It's essentially broken down to 3 steps: how you listen to a question, how you think about whether you know the answer, and then how best to answer. The firm tries to be nimble. We are not going to bring a team in and cause all sorts of cost and expense if we don't need a team. So for some clients, if they come to me and I'm the one they're looking for, that's who they get. What's wonderful about the firm, though, is for those cases that do require either outside expertise in a different practice area or, I hate to say more bodies, but more people working on it, we have terrific teams of lawyers to do that. But for me, the most important thing is my preparation. I can't prepare a witness if I don't understand what happened, what the facts are, what the documents are, and how what they think happened differs perhaps than what others think happened. And then spending the kind of time with the client to make sure I understand the story, to make sure I ask the right questions. I am always going to be there for the highs and the lows, and I think it allows me to do a better job for them that I'm willing to do that.